Well, the original thoughts weren't about Callaway Gardens at all. They were about building a lake. My mother said Dad never saw a stream he didn't want to dam up. In the 1900s, there's a picture that shows this land right here. And it's about the worst looking piece of land you ever saw. Eroded, cotton and corn, and just mostly cotton. It just ruined all the land in the south. The topsoil was gone. Lakes was the only thing you had. You had no air conditioning. You had no place to swim. Mostly swimming pools, private swimming pools, were almost non-existent. And even what you have in the lake, you had swimming and fishing and canoeing and all kind of recreation. So he just loved them. And there was a dam site here to where the two hills come together. And he knew that the Lord put that dam site here for him to dam it up. He just knew that. And he got it. While it was filling, he wondered what to do with it. And during that time, he would look and it got prettier and prettier all the time. And he said, this is too pretty, I've got to open it to the public. That's how the gardens got started.
Jason and Virginia and my dad are the ones who really have carried the vision of Callaway Gardens since its inception.
A three-man team, my mother, my dad, and I. And Dad had all the ideas, and that was good. Everybody did that. Mother did all the flowers. And when they asked Dad what my job is, was Bo's job is to make more money than his mother can spend on flowers.
She was wonderful. She always said she was just a dirt farmer from South Georgia, and she was very much like that. I think her main goal was for everybody to enjoy and appreciate the living world, the natural world.
That beginning with Virginia and with Case and Callaway, and every Callaway since has certainly carried on that tradition and trying to make it better each and every generation, and have certainly done that.
And the Callaway family took this out of raw farmland and developed it in such a way that you have such a feeling of the beauty of nature, and that man has worked on it but has not been intrusive.
Dad had a lot of stories. One of the things about him, I kid about him, if he'd walk in a barbershop and people would quit cutting hair, they just want to listen to him. He had all kinds of stories. And one of the things he says, now, I want this garden to me the most beautiful garden since Adam was a boy, and that's relatively easy. But I also want it to be the most beautiful garden until Gabriel blows his horn, and that's hard.
The unique thing about this garden is that there's a sense of peace. There's a sense of tranquility, a sense of comfort when you come here. Case and Callaway said you're closer to God's heart in a garden than any other place in the world.
But if he came back today, I'm just as sure, I'm positive, he would be so thrilled he wouldn't know what to do.
There's a small sign that as you enter the gardens, in some ways it should be very significant, but it's a very insignificant sign in terms of its size. And it says, take nothing from these gardens except nourishment for the soul, consolation for the heart, inspiration for the mind. And I don't think there's three lines that describe this institution any better than those lines. We're trying to get people away from that hustle and bustle of a busy life, and where they can enjoy the peace and the comfort of the surroundings, such as a Callaway Gardens. I don't think there was any eureka that it happened. This is it. It was the step-by-step approach of building on a sound basis, this institution. It just didn't happen. It happened with planning, yes, mistakes, fortunately minimal, but it happened.
And it started out as a beautiful garden, and it was a beautiful garden. It's still a beautiful garden, but it's so much more now. Where we're going now is to put man to live in this beautiful environment. Until you do that, you haven't really done what our mission is. And our mission is to have a place where we can show to others man and nature living together with respect for both of them. We're finding out that whereas people think if you've got man there, well, that's anti-nature. You know, there are a lot of these environmentalists that I don't agree with who think that man's sort of the evil part of this, and the animals what's the important part of it. That's not true at all. It's man and animals together, and that's what we do. So when you come in and live here, you're actually living in a place where you just go in Longleaf, our first thing we've done. There are more birds there than anywhere you've ever been because everybody has a bird feeder. And they just, you know, who's going to get the first bluebird, and they talk about that. And it's all, you know, it's just a good place. They're into their environment, and they bring people down there, and people come and say, "What's that noise? What's that noise?" It's tree frogs, silly. You've never heard it because you've lived in Atlanta, but you ought to know what a tree frog is, and you ought to know what nature is.